What are you, human being? A demon? A demigod?
You broke the seal. Very well, awakened. Decide for the new Church of Borbarad. Should the Church have a marriage ritual? Should two faithful be allowed to enter a lifelong bond out of love? They would find themselves in eternal struggle with one another. But maybe this struggle and their love could make them better students of the Master's word.
Love is just as powerful as magic because it strengthens our will. It brings two people to live together in eternal struggle while at the same time offering the greatest fulfillment. Both spouses are equal, their spiritual abilities will grow together. Equality is the essence of Borbarad's promise. Every human, a mage. Through the children that arise from these relationships will the Church flourish. That is why we need the sacrament of marriage.
Marriage is a structure that cannot last. No couple will maintain the struggle forever. They'll get used to one another and resign themselves a little more each day. Then only their inertia and fear of losing common property will still hold them together. If not, then their marriage will break down. The temptations are too great. Love is nothing but a mask for desire. In addition, only cowards will marry, the ones willing to put up with whatever they could get in money and sex. The sacrament of marriage is contrary to Borbarad's doctrine of freedom and the will to power. Therefore, we do not need it.
I have made my decision. Borbaradians should be able to marry. Love is to have its place in the new church.
So be it. May the faithful follow the wisdom of your counsel. You broke the seal. Very well, awakened. Decide for the new Church of Borbarad. What makes a true believer? How are the deserving members of the community to be raised above the others? Should there in future be ordination for believers who rise above the laity? Should one obtain priestly office by means of a sacrament?
Order is part of Borbarad's teaching. Through it, the human spirit can force the essence of chaos to its limits. The Fellowship will only follow those that it has itself into office, and they will appoint those who have made outstanding contributions through spirit and power. Ziran did not fail because his church had offices, but because you could buy them. But with a solemn ordination, this too can be overcome. That is why there must be a hierarchy in the new church. It will illustrate the principle and superiority of mind. That is why we need the sacrament of ordination.
Our spirit conquers the chaos, but only when we fight it. With more complicated hierarchy and ceremonial ordinations, this source of renewal would dry up. Ziran once tried that and failed because there were offices, and also because their arbitrary distribution allowed corruption to eat its way into the ranks of things. One becomes a leader solely through their own ability and desire, not through the permission of others. That is why we have no need of the sacrament of ordination.
I have made my decision. The new church needs no ordinations. The fittest will prevail without hierarchy.
So be it. May the faithful follow the wisdom of your counsel. You broke the seal. Very well, Awakened. Decide for the new Church of Orbaran. In other churches, it is customary to baptize newborn children in the name of parental deity. This sacrament can protect the child from demonic influences until it is old enough to make its own choices. But in the event of the child's death, its soul goes to that higher being. However, the Master teaches the overcoming of immaturity, and that a person's soul belongs only to himself. Should newborns be baptized in the Master's name? Should their souls in death really fall to the Master?
Cannot start teaching a child early enough. It must therefore be brought into the fellowship of the faithful quickly. A baptized child is more likely to be brought up as the Master would wish. That way, the virtues of freedom, spirit, and discipline become more deeply internalized, and great power is attained more quickly. As Borberadians, the child's parents will be dealing with demons. It will be difficult for them to protect the child from their influence. But in his divinity, the Master will know how to protect the child. And if naught else, the souls will be better off with him than with the demons. That is why the new church needs the sacrament of baptism.
This sacrament is a verdict for immaturity. A true disciple of Borberad decides for himself to whom he dedicates his soul. And as Borberad, he should do so only if he is sure he does not have to keep this promise. The awakened should be the last ones to have to make this sacrifice without their consent. Moreover, if the child's parents are unable to protect its soul, they should not have brought it into the world. Our children do not need baptism.
I have made my decision. Newborns should be baptized. They can make the final decision later.
So be it. May the faithful follow the wisdom of your counsel.
You can free him. I am curious.
Chiron, my people have found the man who raised us. We know now in which torture chamber Azrael holds him captive.
You want to free him? Earlier it sounded more as if you wanted to get rid of him.
My feelings are not important. As long as Azrael has him, she can blackmail you. Let's get going. Or do you have any more questions first?
What father must have endured?
Let's hope that they only questioned him.
If there's anything Azrael wants to know about father, then at best it's how much pain he can endure.
It must be something personal. Sekal has hinted that. But we had best ask him ourselves.
A torture chamber in a monastery. Now that is unusual.
This isn't a monastery in which people only eat, sleep, and pray. Here, men and women search for truth and freedom. Both are paid for in blood. What did you expect?
Forget it.
My people will distract Azrael's guards in the Western Arcade. In the meantime, you take the Eastern Corridor. Got it?
Got it. We'll get father out of there.
When you find him, give him this potion. If he was tortured, it'll relieve his pain.
Here goes. Let's break father's chains. Father, your eye!
I have another one. Same as with my leg. I heard you fighting and casting spells. You've really practiced since my last lesson. Chiron, I'm glad you're the one who came to get me.
Father, it's nice to see you again.
What do you want? To show your generosity and welcome me as one of your religious warriors?
We offer you our help, old man. Take it or leave it.
She showed me, Calandra. You have become Sigal's daughter. Your gift makes you Azaril's creature, and a tool of the demon.
You've changed, Calandra. You want the truth? This is it.
What do you two know about truth? I won't stand for this any longer! Chiron, bring this old fool to our camp! Maybe there he'll listen to reason!
Take this for the pain.
Thank you, my son.
What did Azaril want from you? Did she take your eye just for revenge?
First she said I should see clearly. She described to me how greedily Calandra had absorbed her lessons, and how she began to accept Sigal as her father. Then she said that all knowledge has its price, and that the price must be commensurate. Then she took my eye.
So much vengefulness after all these years.
There's one thing I never told you. I was too ashamed. Azaril and I were once lovers.
What?
I left the clover for her, my friends Fergalosh and Perel. Even back then she worshipped Borberad. I didn't care. I loved her. But she never really opened up to me. She always backed away at the last second. I thought she was playing with me, that she wanted to challenge me. But with every step that I followed her, she withdrew from me still further. Before my love, she fled ever deeper into Borberadianism. Finally, she used Sigal to get rid of me. Maybe she thought she had no choice.
Did she take Sigal as her lover?
Worse. She used the ritual in which your gifts were created. She had us take part in a great competition whose prize she kept secret. She said it was to find out who amongst us was the best. I thought it was for her love. When Sigal and I finally faced one another, she revealed the truth. The final battle between him and me never took place.
And instead?
7 children from 7 virgins. Someone had to sire them. Sigal and I obeyed. It was only later I realized that she had thereby rejected me once and for all. That realization led me to steal you. And now, she has taken her revenge for it. Chiron, get me out of here. I can't go on any longer.
Don't worry, Father. Let's hurry.
And? Is the traitor now free?
Azaril has taken one of his eyes. What did you have to do with that?
I have not spoken to Azaril since the revolution began. And even if I had done so, the price is a matter between me and the traitor. But take heart. 3 seals are waiting for you. Confession, initiation, flesh and blood. Which would you like to learn something about?
Just tell me what I should expect. What function do these seals have again? And how do I break them?
You need the keystones. Green gems that fit the seals. They are protected by puzzles, traps and demons, and they themselves test to see if you are worthy. You have to understand the powers that they offer you by overcoming what you have not yet become. Azrael wants to use the seals to exercise control over body and soul of the last awakened. But the seals are not without will. They contain deep mysteries of our faith. They are subject to whoever breaks them. They shape the first paladin's power according to that person's will. That is why every seal will ask you a question. It is Calandra's wish that you endow the sacraments of our new church. So choose wisely which sacraments the church needs and which not. The spirit of the seal will help you. It will show you spirits from your own mind, who will give you more insight into advantages and disadvantages.
What is with the seal of confession?
Confession is a mystery of togetherness, a ritual of joint thinking. Go to the library. It is a puzzle.
I'm not a librarian.
Nevertheless, you'll have to solve the puzzle if you want the keystone.
What do you know about the initiation seal?
The initiation makes a woman of the girl, a man of the boy, and a scholar of the student.
I don't need a lecture.
In some countries, you have to fight. In others, offer up a sacrifice. You'll do both. Search the monastery for bushes of bloodleaf. When you have picked enough, burn them in the bowl at the foot of Borberad's statue.
And then I have to fight.
Smart lad.
Flesh and blood.
There is a pavilion covered in blackvine. You know how blackvine grows?
The plant drinks human blood, and then other people drink the juice of the blackvine grapes.
Some would say they drink human blood.
I can find the seal key in the pavilion?
If the black vine doesn't get you.
Do you have any more questions?
Well?
See you later. Only
Oh,
practice
nice
makes... Meet me when the time...
The new catechism seems to have finally understood Borbarad's doctrine of freedom.
We'll show that self-proclaimed high prophetess just who the church really belongs to.
If I could only touch him just once.
High Prophetess, the arrogance, as if she herself was the guardian of forbidden knowledge. No, the secret of breaking pacts belongs to all the Master's students.
Calandra is a born leader. Intelligent, strong, and beautiful.
The revolution will let the church flourish anew.
Death to the High Prophetess! Burn her body! decide for the new Church of Borbarad. Those who follow the Master with great devotion often face difficult decisions as to right and wrong. In these decisions, the Master's followers are always alone. They cannot take anyone into their confidence, for to show weakness in front of others easily leads to ruin amongst the true believers. A secret confession could be of much help, but is a sacrament that requires so much trust really suitable for the new church?
It is much to expect when we say that every Borbaradian draws up all their moral rules on their own, an ideal that especially overwhelms the inexperienced. They will always carry with them the remains of foreign morality which interferes with their studies. A confessor could free their minds of this obstacle. Everyone has moments of weakness. It is reasonable to anticipate that and to create a safe place for these moments. That will make the faithful even stronger outside that place. That is why we need the sacrament of confession.
A true believer knows that ultimately all people strive for power. No confessor would be an exception to that rule. It would be against the Master's will for confessors to gather knowledge about others' weaknesses and not use it for their own purposes. Confession would make the believers weak because they would wallow in their weakness and sink into perpetual musing. A true Borbaradian performs deeds or fails, but both are done with pride. There is no trial, and there is no blame. Therefore, we do not need the sacrament of confession.
I have made my decision. Even a Borbaradian must be able to show this. Confession is a useful sacrament.
So be it. May the faithful follow the wisdom of your counsel. Broke the seal. Very well, awakened. Decide for the new Church of Borbarad. The grapes of the Black Vine are very powerful. They induce a trance which expands awareness and can help in magic rituals. It was created by Belgravon, the archdemon of black rotten lust. The wine draws its power from the vitality of the people caught in its vines. In this respect, it resembles the Master's teachings. As does the wine, the faithful use the power inherent in life force to cast spells. Is the wine suitable as a symbol of the rituals of the new church? Should it become an integral part and perhaps even replace blood sacrifice?
Only rarely will the believer's own blood suffice to cast powerful magic. Sooner or later, he will turn to the blood of his fellow men. Who can maintain their balance in the rush of power? How many sacrifices are enough? 100? 1,000? Black vine is an apt symbol, and it grows wherever it is planted. It would be unwise to make enemies through sacrifices when there is a substitute for their blood. Moreover, what is the life of a person stupid enough to let themselves be captured by a vine-hedged wolf? The Master himself employed the demon's useful powers for his own purposes. Why not this plant? It is right to use black vine for the rituals.
Blood is the essence of magic, as taught by the Master. Black vine is not. Replacing blood with wine would indeed save sacrifices, but the obligation to do so would also limit the rituals of the faithful. First, often enough do the Master students work their magic with their own blood. Second, the archdemonic effects could cloud the clear spirit the Master deemed a virtue. And third, great deeds also require great sacrifices. If it is a good and noble thing, then it is worth every human life the faithful transform into essence. The faithful are accustomed to bearing responsibility. They answer to no one, and they are clever enough to find the right measure when choosing their victories. That is why black vine should not be part of the sacrifice, and it should certainly not replace blood sacrifice.
I have made my decision. Black vine is a useful plant. It is to be used in the rituals of the new church.
So be it. May the faithful follow the wisdom of your counsel. decide for the new church of Borbarad. The Master teaches us that the struggle for the greatest power is everlasting, and his most teachable students are also the most determined. What happens when a student has become powerful enough to defeat his instructor? Will he not use this as the first opportunity to gain respect in the fellowship? The instructor will not give up his power over the student, but it is up to him to introduce the student into the fellowship of believers as a full member. For impatient students, it is natural to want to prove themselves to the teacher. Often, the result is a duel in which one of the two finds death. A symbolic sacrament of initiation could be of help, should it be introduced.
How many arrogant students would senselessly lose their lives in that struggle? How many teachers would expose themselves to that risk at all? Would weaken the church if one were not allowed to show their overcoming of their instructor or something. Years of training would become pointless. In addition, with this sacrament, instructors would be tempted to keep their students ignorant for as long as possible, to keep their power from growing. That is why a symbolic initiation is necessary. It will give the initiates confidence and bind them more closely to the fellowship.
Respect is earned through deeds alone. Admission as a full member of the church must be fought for, not given away. An instructor must be smart enough to get rid of his student at the right time, and to influence him in such a way that he does not want revenge, should he be more powerful. Symbolic initiation would mean the teacher and student both fail, and are allowed to do so. Still, if the instructor did not have the fear of the student's vengeance, he could do what he wanted with them. That is why we do not need a sacrament of initiation. A commitment to the Master's teachings is enough.
I have made my decision. We need a sacrament of initiation. Full-fledged members should be brought in without jeopardizing the church's faith.
So be it. May the faithful follow the wisdom of your counsel.
All the seals are broken, except for the one Azrael herself guards. This battle will be the hardest. Never forget, the High Prophetess must fall.
Chiron, good thing I found you. Azrael is attacking again, more violently than ever before.
She's retaliating for Father's liberation.
Whatever the reason, we don't have time. We have to defend the camp. My people are badly injured. A scout reported that Azrael will send new troops this way. Troops she rose magically. But the scout died before he could describe them. I'll pull my people together on the other side of the camp. Maybe we can hold the eastern gate this way.
Things must be busy if you left the camp to fetch me.
She has enough creatures and cultists to storm the gates of Warwick itself.
She means business. Hasn't Azrael already lost enough power?
She is weakened, but so are we. It's as if she has to prove something to herself.
Maybe to you or Father.
Stop that crap.
So I will expect these new troops here. Alone.
I don't want to abandon you, but I can split up my troops. And if there's anyone who has a chance to defend the Western Gate, then it's you. Please, Chiron, you are our last hope.
If you want me dead, just say it.
You mean I'm going to let others do the dirty work for me? Surrender to the force of the gift, but without fighting against you? No, Chiron. My love is stronger. Take my 2 bodyguards. They shall help you in this battle. We will defend the Eastern Gate without them. Somehow.
Here we go.
All the seals are broken.
We held them off. Thank you, Chiron. 1,000 thanks. So many dead. But they bought us some time.
They knew the risk, and they died for a good cause.
Thank you for standing by me. I wish it were easier for us. But that's immaterial. The survivors have little hope of defending our camp. Or storming Azrael's camp. Do you realize what that means, Chiron?
It's not the first time we've stood with our backs to the wall. We'll figure something out. How great is the loss, exactly?
We're still counting. There may be enough for a new church, but not an attack. At least Aegis and Solus are still alive. They stood in for my bodyguards in an honorable way. At least my life was saved by them. At a high price.
Lizard men. Seems blood mages and creatures from the Netherhells aren't enough.
Azrael's people controlled them the way they did the demons, and they looked just like the stone statues in the barricade room.
As if she had awakened them from the stone. Maybe we can use that. There's a card we haven't played yet. Segal.
You think his knowledge could save us?
I will go see him. He will help us.
Good, go see him. Azrael herself guards the very last seal in the monastery's inner sanctum. Even my gift cannot get us there. The only way in is by force. The camp will remain a safe haven for you. In the meantime, I'll pull everyone together who can still stand. But when we fight this battle, it will be the most violent of them all.
Only practice makes perfect.
On my children.
Only practice. You succeeded. Excellent. Take this as a compensation for your trouble. You succeeded. Excellent. Take this as a compensation for your trouble. You succeeded. Excellent. Take this as a compensation for your trouble.
Segal, we need your help. Azrael has overrun the rebels. A counterattack would shatter the survivors. We'll never get the 7th seal.
You need an army. A mighty army, right?
It is your fight too. Now finally do something.
It is good. I want to help you. But I'll have to demand something of you first.
This is a damned poor time.
I have done much for you. Remember that, Chiron. The more pressing your time is, the more valuable the boon I ask. And the quicker you do what I want, the quicker you owe me nothing, if that is what you wish.
That is just sick.
As sick as love always is. A leader needs to learn that, and it makes me proud to see how quickly you learn. Still, I want this favor. Then you shall have your army.
Fine. What should I do?
You will get me some demonic acid. It is in the crypt under the Master's statue.
And I won't find out why I'm doing this until later.
Accept this uncertainty, or the certainty that Azrael will destroy you.